What is straight? A line can be straight or a street, but the human heart? Oh no, it's curved like a road through mountains. Tennessee Williams from A Streetcar Named Desire. Today we're talking about the human heart. Why? Because, well, I had a little taste of sugar last night and now I feel like I was hit by a bus. Why is it that I, at 10 years old, could eat a pillowcase full of candy and then do 6,000 backflips on the way to the store to get more because it wasn't enough and feel great? And last night I have one little tiny bite of caramel popcorn and I can hardly walk today. I don't know. But what I've come to realize through my old age and experience is that what's far more important than the health and vigor and physical vitality of youth is the condition of the human heart. Because our bodies fail us. That's going to happen to all of us. We all get old and ugly, and not that all old people are ugly, just beauty fades. And the condition of the body dwindles over time, but what's something that's eternal? What's something that's lasting? It's the condition of our souls, our selves, our heart. So I felt it important to talk about that today. But when we talk about the human heart and the condition of it, and for those of us that are at odds with God or completely opposed to the idea of God or just on a very distant path or feel like I've done way too many bad things to ever, like, religion's not for me, or God is not for me, or I've done too much. There is always a path, and I am the perfect example of one who's gone from I've done too many terrible things to, you know what? There's something to having a relationship with God and the abundance that comes out of that in your life. And I'm not just talking about the material, but more importantly, the spiritual. That fountain of youth, I think, comes from the heart. To show you what it looks like to set a foot on that path, how do we begin? Where do we go? How do I get this thing? I haven't read the Bible in 10 years or since I was a kid or ever. What do I do? Here's what you do. I'll tell you a story real quick. So I got a new pair of shoes. Pretty sweet shoes. High tech, real great running shoes. Because I run a lot. And my kids saw the shoes, my boys. They're 8, 6, and 4, about to be 5. And of course they flipped out. They loved it. Bright colors and big, whatever. Like, oh, I want those shoes. I was like, well, you can't have these shoes. You're like 3 and you got tiny feet that are going to grow in 3 months and you're not going to be able to fit them. I'm not going to spend a couple $100 on a pair of shoes. No, it's not going to happen. But I really want those shoes. Those are cool. I'll run too. We can be runners. And I was like, all right, I'll make you a deal. If you can run a 10-minute mile, which is really slow compared to mine. So I thought I was being nice. But if you can run a 10-minute mile, I'll get you these pair of shoes. I'll get you the shoes because I feel like you've proven that you are really making an effort to run. I feel like, a 7-year-old running 10-minute miles, like, pretty good. Like, you're really taking it seriously at that point. Okay, great. We have a deal. So, all right, let's go. I'm going to show you what a mile looks like. I got the watch on. Satellites are tracking us. Let's do this. So we go out for a run. And they did great. It was a 13-minute mile. Our first time timing a mile. And so they didn't get the shoes yet. Thank God. Because they're expensive. But they learned an important lesson. And when they asked, well, how do we run a 10-minute mile? I said, well, you run a mile. You just start running a mile. The scripture treats the condition of our hearts the same way when it says, Proverbs 4:7 says, the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Understanding, though it costs all you have, get it. If you want to take that journey, just start the journey. And you think it's this elusive, but I don't know where to begin. You just begin, and it starts in here. That's what I want to talk about today. maybe I'll make this like a 20-parter. I don't know, because there's so much I have to say on this matter. Um, oh gosh, there's so much all I can, I'll leave the rest of this. There's so much that I have. This is so dense. The idea of the human heart and its condition. I just want to encourage you today to start here. I'll go deeper with this same idea next week when we get into Judges chapter 6 and the story of Gideon, and Isaiah chapter 1 when we talk about Jerusalem and Judah and the consequences of not being in a right relationship. And we'll continue this idea of this omnipotence paradox. Has God created, or can God create, a stone too heavy to lift? I think not, and I think that's also the wrong way to look at that. I think it's absurd, that premise, but we'll get into that more next time. I think for now, I encourage you, if the things of Scripture, the condition of the heart of Scripture, the fruits of the Spirit, it sounds like something that might be interesting to you, which are Galatians 5:22-23 talks about this. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. If those are all things that you think would be nice to have, take the first step of that mile. Just go. And that's just something right in here. I'll tell you more about how to get there next week.